Okay. In this session, what we are gonna do is we'll see how to connect to the DB through the Python code. So that because it's very important for your OPP and it's very important in practical scenarios as well if you are going to use your database in any of the applications, right? So in this studio, in this session we'll see how to connect to the DB and how to query the databases and how to retrieve the data from the databases so that you will be able to modify them later or whatever operations that we can do. So, and if you guys have any code editor like VS Code or anything, I you can code alongside with me so that you get hands-on practice because this is very important for your OPP.
Sir, will Google Colab work?
Google Colab won't work because since I will be connecting the database to the Postgres, which we have installed in week 2 and 3 in our local system. So I won't be using Google Colab won't work in this. Is my terminal visible?
Yes, sir.
Initially, what we will do is let's open the code editor by using code dot. Before I'm using a WSL, so you can use a if you are using Windows, you can use the command prompt. Like slight modification is there in while activating the environment. Other than that, it's also okay. So let me share my VS Code screen as well. So I have opened my VS Code and this is where we are gonna code. You can use it basically any editor. You don't have any problem. And if you guys were learning Mad1 course parallelly, and you should be aware of what is VS Code and how to use it. So it's basically a code editor where you can create files here using this. You can. So first, what we'll do, we'll create an environment so that our library installs in that environment doesn't affect our system. So it doesn't any cause any conflicts with our other packages with our system. So what I'm doing is I'm just creating an environment Python 3 using this -m option. This VNV is nothing but virtual environment. And this is my environment name. My environment name is I'm giving as my hyphen environment. So once you create this, you just we are going to activate this environment and we are going to work in this environment completely. So you can activate this using source my env. Basically, there is nothing but your environment and bin slash active. So once the environment has been activated, your command prompt or WSL will look like something like this. You will see a bracket and your environment name in front of it. Okay. So also you can see a folder like this so that it has the environment. So once you activate it, we'll use the library called PsychoPG and we'll install the same here. So you can install using this pip install PsychoPG. So once it has been installed, now we'll see how to connect to the Postgres database. Okay. Sorry, it should be PsychoPG, the second version. Sorry. So meanwhile installing, what we'll do, we'll import the PsychoPG library, which we are going to use now. So once you install this, so don't mind this generation. I should off it to off this. Okay, I just turned off this. Oh. First, what we need to do is we need to install it, and I'm defining a variable called connection, and I'm initializing to none. Okay. Then simply what we are gonna do is we'll use a try and except block so that it is safe to do do the operations. Okay, because basically if whatever the errors throws in this try block, it will catch in this except, and we can print the error and we can roll back to previous things. All those things we can do in this except. And finally, I will have the finally also, right? So what we'll do, let me comment out this is this source index syntax error as of now. After try, what we'll do, we'll connect to the database. How to connect to the database? And for that, you take the variable which we have initialized, connection equal to none. What I'm doing is now using this variable, I'm making a connection to my database. So it is nothing but psychopg2.connect. For that, we are using this library psychopg and connect. In this connect, what will be doing? So basically here itself it shows. So we need to give database name, right? And we need to give username and we need to give password,
Port number and version.
port number and host. So since I'm connecting to my local system, so it will be local host. Else, if your database in some other server, you can use that host. Basically, that's an IP address or domain name where you can connect to the database server. Okay. So how you can get these credentials? So the by default, if you have installed the Postgres database, this will be the username, and this will be the password. Whatever the password you have given. So my password is randomly something this, and the host name I can give local host. So local host I can denote this as 127.0.0.1, and the default port number is 5432. In some of your system, it may be 5433. It might vary, but most of the system in default Postgres port is 5432.
Where to check this?
In pgadmin, you can check by clicking on the properties. You can check the port number.
So the codes are missing in the port number.
Yeah. So on the database which I'm trying to connect is test. So I have created one database called test. You can connect to the FLIS also if you have imported. So it doesn't matter. So once it has been connected, let's print whether it has been connected or not. So just to test whether it has been connected, else it will throw somewhere, it won't print this way. So database connected. And also you can print and see what this connection variable value is. So after that, in except, what we are gonna do is we are gonna just print the error. If we are if we are facing some error in this try block, what it will do, it will catch in this except block. So in this except block, if any exception, basically if it has any error, you can take this as error. And also if there is any connection error, sorry, this is psychopd.2 database. If you are getting any database error, that also you can print. So what will just print it if we are facing some error. So error. And finally, it doesn't matter whether you are facing the error or not. Finally, it's good that you always close the connection so that your connection doesn't leak to some other API endpoints, or it's not a good practice if you are not closing the connection. Generally, it won't affect anything, but it is a good practice to close the connection. Otherwise, it will be exposed, and if you are connecting using the same application again in another endpoint, you might get some conflicts. So it's always a good practice to close the connection. Once you have opened the connection, you should close the connection from it. So for that, what we'll do, we'll gonna check if connection is not none. Finally, you close the connection. Connection dot close. I just commented close the connection, because in sometimes why I am writing this if blockers. Sometimes you will get error in this part also, in this part itself. So in this case, the connection won't be established. You won't be able to close the connection. Again, you will face error. That's why we are checking if the connection is there or not. If the connection is there, then you close it. Okay. So let's execute and see this code. Okay. I'll execute this using Python and the file name connection.py. So what it prints is, can see the database has been connected, and it prints the weird object, connection object, and assign some address and credentials, and it's good, right? So if I put a random name, let's say test2, which doesn't exist in my database, in my local system database. If I run this, now it says connection to the server, which is my local host. This IP address belongs to my local host, and port 543 failed. And it also says test2 does not exist. This is where we are capturing the error and printing it so that it's helpful for debug also. And it's very good practice to write in this manner whenever you connect to the database, right? Any doubts here so far?
Where we have to write
We have
SQL.
to commit. We have to commit.
We are not inserting anything, so we are not committing also, right?
Okay.
If you are inserting or deleting, updating something, we have to commit, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
Sir,
maybe
when
in,
importing, why it's showing yellow, right?
while importing,
Yellow underline in line one.
uh,
While
I don't know.
importing, showing yellow.
My system is somehow not able to detect this package has been installed. That's why it's showing in yellow. But it's not matter.
Oh,
It shouldn't show because it's not able to detect in this environment whether this PsychoPG2 has been installed or not. Basically, that's VS Code issue. Still, my environment is correct only.
okay.
I don't know. Like, okay. Let's have some query also. Let's try to insert some tables and insert some rows and update it. And also we'll see one practice question, how to query and how to modify the data. So I'll just take a copy of this. I won't code again. This copying. This is the code actually you need to remember whenever you do some questions or connect to any database in any applications. And this is the template code you have to remember at least.
Sir, in
Okay. So,
OPP, they give this template code.
sorry.
In OPP, do we have to remember this template code or will they give it?
No, you have to code everything from the scratch.
Got it, sir. Okay.
So I just take a copy of this and create a new connection. Py create dot py something. Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll try to create a table here. Okay. So I have a test database already. So I'm gonna try whatever using this test database. So once we connect to the database, what we'll do, we are gonna create a cursor. This cursor is the thing which we will try to execute the query using this one. Without cursor, you won't be able to execute anything in the database. This is called cursor. Once you connect to the database, you take a cursor. In that connection, you take a cursor. Using this cursor, we'll be executing our queries. So once you create a cursor, I'll type create a cursor. Okay. Once you create a cursor, what we'll do, you can type cursor dot execute. This execute is nothing but where we need to write our SQL codes. So we can use triple quotes. Okay. Else you have to write everything in a single line. You can use double quotes also, but you have to write whole SQL code in a single line, right? So that's why I'm using a triple quotes. So here, what we can do is we can do our queries. So as usual, we have seen in week 2, create table. Let's take employee and whatever you want right now. So I'll format it also using the triple quotes. So that's why it's good to use a triple quote. You can format and read the query in a neat and clean manner. So employee number is a integer and also a primary. And you have an employee. And this is gonna be varchar 20 characters, let's say. That's it. And I put a constraint not null. Okay. And this is what I'm doing. So also once you execute whatever the SQL code you are trying to execute using the cursor, you need to close the cursor also, right? You can close the cursor dot close. So, and in order to see whether this has been created or not, I'll just add a print statement, table created. Okay, else it will print some error. Okay. So let's try to execute this now. Python create.py. Now it says test does not exist. Why it says earlier it has been connected? Okay, I'll check. Um, Maybe I have to check my database whether in my Postgres it is there or not. Yes. Okay. Okay, let me open my Postgres.
You're not going to use comma in between these queries while
Between?
writing the query in the
But
bracket.
here it shows the error database has not been connected, right?
My question is
It should
where
see
you
if
are
the error.
executing.
Yeah, I agree. If the error is in the query, it should throw the error, whatever the error we are facing in that query. Okay. So it's taking some time to open my EGML. Yeah, open. Okay. Okay. Why still it fails? Okay. Yeah, got it. Actually, I'm using my WS, right? My Postgres is installed in some other. Okay. I will create a new database first. I got it. Okay. We'll create a new database called test. Yeah. Now it should work. I've created a new database. See, and now the error which we are saying, right? It's throwing that error. Got it? That's why it's very helpful, right? This Excel block. Whenever you face some error here while executing the query, see now even it says in line 3 only you are facing the error. This is line 1, line 2, line. So we'll add a comma here and we'll try to execute. Still I'm missing something. Oh, sorry. This underscore. Yeah. Now it says database connected, table created. Uh, but I made a mistake here. Can someone notice? It hasn't created the table actually, but still, even though it has run without any error, my table has not been created. I can verify that using my Postgres also using pjournal. Anyone? Have you
Coming.
guys noticed what is the error I made here? I haven't committed, right? If we are making some changes by executing the query, which is going to actually cause some change in your database, what you need to do is you would have to commit it. Otherwise, this change won't be done in your database. So you have to commit it, connection.commit. Then only your changes, whatever the changes which you are trying to do through the query, it will be committed in your database. Okay. Now, even without committing also, I can show you whether this has been created or not. If I execute this one, select all from employee, it should return some empty rows or it shouldn't throw any error. But here it will throw error. It says employee doesn't exist because earlier I haven't committed this connection.com. That's it, right? So what I will do, I'll commit it so that uh, table is created in my database. Okay. Now my table has been created. We will try to insert some rows in this table. So for this, what I'll do, I'll just take a copy, or I can edit here also if you guys want. So better I will take a copy and I'll put it here, insert copy. So what I will do is I'm gonna remove this cursor dot execute. Instead of creating the table, we are gonna insert it.
Employees.
Right? The table which we have created is employee and values. And what we need to insert is primary key, name and employee ID and name. So how can we insert it?
Simply put number, sir.
Simply
Sir, simply put digit like 1, 2, 3, comma, and then imply name of size 29.
I can put like this also, right? Name one. Because this is what we have created as a schema. Employee name, number as an integer and name as a varchar. So let's try to insert this. And you have to commit it. If you are inserting something or creating, updating something, you have to commit it. So I'll put inserted. So now I'll execute this one. Now it says database connected and so this got successfully inserted. What if I want to randomly want to pass the name instead of hard coding? Basically, we are hard coding here, right? But I
Yes,
want
sir.
to.
Very well
I
linked.
don't want this hard coding. I need to pass the argument, and then based on this argument, this value should be inserted. So what can we do for that?
So we
We
can
have
make
create
this.
a very
So we can format it using percentages. And I'm using two variables and you just close it. So after once you close it, now I'm gonna say ID and name are the variables to this. You need to replace with this.
This is a placeholder.
Yeah. But to define this placeholder, we need to have a function, right? Because using the function, we can pass that argument.
Sir, we can use here formatted string also.
Yeah. But that is sometimes while inserting, that creates some problem. That's why it's better to use this percentages. But you can use formatted string also, that also works. So what I will do, I'll try to wrap this all code inside the function so that we can pass the argument. And def, I'll put function name as record, insert record, and I will pass ID and name. Now all my code became functions. So inside this function, my ID and variables are there. So I can trigger this function insert record. I can pass my ID and I can also use the name. Because basically this is triggering my function, right? So if I execute this again, this will be inserted. So I have inserted two rows, right? But how can we see this two rows now? So for this, I'll create one more file, select .py, which we will write the SQL query to select and see how to work on it. So I'll take a copy from this. You can use functions also. So this cursor dot execute on this tomorrow. And also I don't need commit if I'm gonna use select queries. Select all from employee. So I'll execute this. Still I'm making some mistake. Can anyone say what's the mistake I'm doing here? So it just says database connected, but it is not giving any output to. Why?
We have not printed, I think, anything. First, we have to store the query in some.
Once
So
we execute
variables
this
not
query,
stored from selection.
yeah, this whatever we are querying, we are not storing this anywhere and we are not printing it also, right?
Yes.
So what we'll do, we'll store the result in a result variable, and we need to fetch using the cursor only because this my cursor got executed and it stored some value. So we'll use fetch all mini. There are 3 things were there. Now I'll use fetch one as of now. Let's see how it behaves. So now I can print the result also. So will it print 2 rows or 1 rows?
One second.
And this result will be list, dictionary, and how the format will.
Tuples. One tuple.
Let's see that also, so that you'll get an idea. Now it's printing as a tuple. If I put fetch many,
Then also one.
I need to give the size, right?
Yes.
So that I can fetch whatever the rows. Even if I put fetch mini size equal to 1, it will result only 1 row. But now it will be list of tuples. If I put 2, now it will be list of tuples with 2 rows. Each row has a tuple. See? And if I don't want to use fetch many, if I want to fetch everything, I can use fetch all. Since I have only inserted 2 rows, so it's giving all. This is how we can execute any queries, and using cursor.fetch one mini or fetch all, you can store that in your result variable and you can print it.
So suppose we want only the number, like employee ID. So we can do whatever we do in the Python, like from the tuple select the first value only.
Yeah,
We can,
that. So now we'll do. So once you print this, you can iterate this, right, for row in result. So my each row will be what? Tuple now.
yes.
And how can you get the ID? And the ID is equal to row of 0, I can get
So,
using my index. And name equal to I can get using row of.
Row one.
And I can also print this print ID command. So if I execute this Python, now it prints 1 name, 2 name. This is my ID and this is my name, right? You can always loop this result and you can format however you want, right? And you can even add some functions while printing. So this is all the basic things. And also, I think I forget to show you update and delete. I'll show you that one also. So for update and delete, I'll take this one again, insert record. What I'll do, I'll just create update.py, update record. I'll just modify this to update record. And this is again update record. I'll update the name to as updated name to. So what I need to write is I need to write a SQL query again. Right here. What's the query to update? Update. And we used to have a table name, that is employee, and set what we are going to update, name, and that name will be passed to the argument. So I can use percentages where I need to give a condition, where employee ID. I think this is also employee name, not just name. Just yeah. So where employee ID equal to, again, I'm just passing that as an argument. So finally, I'm passing my ID in. So this you can do. I'm just printing it in for the safe purpose, whether it has been updated or not. Later you may check using the select query. So I'll execute this now. Update.py. Okay. Perhaps you need to reference the column employee.employee. I think employee numbers is not ID. Yeah, employee number. So here I just put employee number. Now I think without error it should work. Invalid input, syntax for integer type updated name. Bytes passing.
Underscore, I think.
Yeah. The order matters here, right? Here it takes employee name as ID and employee number as name. That's right. And it doesn't have any name with updated name. That's why it's throwing an error, right? So it should be name ID, right? So this employee name equal to name will be there, and this employee number will be ID. So if I execute this now, it should finally insert. So this has been inserted. And we can verify this using the select query now, whether it has been updated or not. See, this has been updated and it prints updated name. Right? And we can perform delete operation as well similarly. So for delete, what we'll do, again, I just take the same code. And whenever you update, create or delete something, you need to commit into the database using connection.commit. Otherwise, this won't be change anything in your database. Okay. So we'll take this again. I'll paste it in delete.py. So what we are gonna do change now is the query to delete is delete from table name employee where my employee ID I'll take as percentages. Now I'm gonna pass only one argument. So I don't need name now. I'll change this function name to delete record, and I'll delete also deleted. Record deleted. We'll try to execute this. Okay. So now I'm passing the employee ID 2, and we are now trying to delete. So let's delete this using delete.
There's a extra comma in line number 14, I think, after ID.
Line number
14 after ID.
I don't think that's the problem. It's integer object not support indexing. It has been deleted or it's doing any errors. Let's execute and see. Oh, it's still there.
Sir, in definition, we need to mention ID column int.
No, it's already I'm passing as an integer. And there should be comma too whenever we are inserting as a tuple. Delete from employee where
Sir,
okay.
where
Sorry,
passing as integer.
again I'm making a mistake. Sorry. It is employee number, not the employee ID. As we defined in the schema, it is employee number. My mind always goes to ID, I don't know why. Now it should work. If you remove this comma, of course, this error will be there. So whenever you do a formatting, even for a single variable, this comma should be there. So now if I execute, now the database has been connected and the record has been deleted. We can verify this using by executing the select rule. Now we are able to see only one, right? So it has been deleted.
Sir, how did it recognize that integer part?
We are passing an integer, right? By default, Python automatically detects whether it is an integer or string, right? For string, we used to specify this one. If we are just passing integer, this is the right. If it's by default, whatever this value has, but it will take that. If you want to explicitly make it string, and you can put it string. So then it will take this as a string part.
Suppose percent s is written, so it will take it as string, or we need to write there %d.
No, using percentage it works. So it just substitutes like this only. If you see, delete from employee ID equal to. So you need to substitute that as a string one, because my whole query is executed as a string, right? Yeah, I'm writing this as string. It's a multi-line string where my query is being executed. So you need to substitute that as a string one. So,
Sir,
okay,
can you show the whole code of delete.py? Can you scroll down?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sir.
Are you taking screenshot to this?
No, sir. Actually, I was saying why only ID2 is deleted. I want to see that last line.
Okay, so far any doubts in basic operations? This is how we used to connect. So basically, at least you need to mug up this because this is very essential. Not only in Python, or if you even use any other language to connect the database, there will be some template like this where you need to import the library and you need to create a connection and you can close the connection. This is always a standard practice, even if you try to do this in some other language also. So you need to remember this template in every language. We don't have any option for this. But you should remember this sequence. This is same for every languages whenever you connect to the database.
Sir, so basically what we're trying to learn is how can we manipulate a database SQL using Python.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
It is same like we create database in DB.
Not like in the sense.
So which we create like in Mad1.
In Mad1 we use SQL Alchemy,
Yeah,
right?
SQLite. Yeah. It is that of uh, kind of I mean.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is Python
So
Python
basically,
connectivity.
hmm, basically SQL Alchemy also creates a database connection, but it has its own query of way of retrieving the data from the database. But that's also follows the same procedure. It's first tries to create an engine and establishes the connection, then it retrieves the query. But in place of writing this SQL queries, we used to write the SQL Alchemy queries.
And so this password, we will have to use the one which we used in setting up the Postgres, right?
Yes, yes.
I mean, I just forgot, so we will be able to check, right, in Postgres PG somewhere.
I'm
Because
not
I'm getting
sure
this,
where to say
I'm
because
getting an error like password authentication failed for the user Postgres.
You have to reinstall it and set the password again.
You have to delete and install again.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
so any doubts here so far? Otherwise, we'll move to the next part. Uh, let's solve one or two practice assignment questions. Then it will be very easy to understand how to work with OPP also. But this is the same template code you need to use in your OPP also. But the questions on OPP will be you need to execute the query and you need to modify the results somehow. It's same as week 2 and week 3, but you need to establish a connection. You need to retrieve the data using that cursor.execute. Once you return, once you got some result and you store it using cursor.fetch one, fetch many, and you store it in result, you need to modify a little bit the way of printing or way of filtering out. That's slight modification will be there. Other than that, it's same as week 2 and week 3. You can see it, right?
Sir, hello.
Yeah.
Sir, can you explain the connection part again? Database connection part. Actually, I have joined late.
Okay. So how we are trying to connect us? This is the line which connects to my database. So to connect to the database, we are using this PsychoPG2 library for Python. So this library connects to my Postgres database. It's not for every database. It's only for Postgres. Okay. For other databases, there will be a different libraries. So using this PsychoPG.2 connect, I'm providing all the necessary details. What is my database name and my username, password, and my host and port. So after providing all these credentials, it will be connect to my database. Once it has been connected, you can execute the queries.
Sir, what about the host and port?
By default, it's a local host because this database is in my local system. Suppose if your database in some servers, which is in online, like the application used to run in online, and that application has database also, right? In that case, the database server won't be in your local system. That will be in some other server. So for that, you will be connecting to the database server using the IP address where that IP address denotes where the database server is present, or else using the domain name. Domain name again points to your IP address. And port is something I think you have learned in Madon with detail.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So by default, Postgres uses this 5432 port. If I want to give some other example, the method called HTTP and HTTPS. I think everyone is aware of that. The method HTTP uses by default 80 port, and the HTTPS uses the default port of 440. So this is standard. This HTTP and HTTPS uses this 80 and 443. And we can use other ports also if you want. Basically, this each port will expose to one of the application where it will expose to the internet and you can use it. But in this case, it's my local system. Even if I expose it, since my machine is not connected to the internet, you won't be able to access. That's it.
So we only have to install PsychoPG 2, है ना?
Yeah.
Any other library other than that?
No other than.
Okay, sir.
Sir, I just retrieved my password and I'm able to use this FLSDB. This test to you only you have that, and it was not given from the instructor side. We were not.
Yeah, just a empty database which I created to create this table so that it doesn't affect your the database which has been already existing, the FIS and LIS or university databases.
Yeah, okay, sir.
So you can execute using the FLIS query also if you want. So for the select query, I'll change the database to FLIS, and I'll execute select all. No, not select all. We'll execute team ID, team name. I'm not sure whether these attributes are there. Okay, from teams. I think it will throw an error. Right? The attributes which I'm giving, it's not there. It's team ID and it's just name, I guess. Yeah. So we got the output from the list database. Now you can see it's a list of tuples and it prints all 6 teams in each in one tuple. And we are loop just iterating to the for loop and we are printing the team ID on.
Yes, sir.
So any doubts? Else we'll go to one of the practice assignment. We'll see further how to solve the practice assignment question.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
that
sir.
it will have some tricky part while iterating this for the tuples. Okay. Okay. Someone is calling, I guess. I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay. Just wait for a minute. I'll be back.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's go and solve one of the practice assignment. For practice assignment also, I'll be using the VS Code only, but you can solve it in the portal. Okay, because I don't have the access to Seek portal, I guess. CS 2001. Yeah. But I'll use the VS Code. You can use the same code to solve in your portal also. The main difference with the portal is this database, username, password, all this will be given by default. So you need to paste that code by default, which is given in the portal. That's it. So I'll take PA1.py and okay. So the PA1 is based on the this database, right? And the question is to print the prime jersey numbers. Sorry, the player name and team name who has the prime jersey numbers, right? Okay. So what we'll do, we'll take the same code template and we'll modify according to the PA1. Okay. Is that fine? Hello. Sorry, I'm looking at my
Yes.
VS Code. I'm not able to see the content.
Yes, sir. Fine.
We'll just take a copy of this. I'll go to PA1 and paste it. Okay. So the main difference I'll tell you before doing the code. Main difference will be this part, which will be by default given here. This will be given, right? In the question you might see this. This will be given. The database will be given as an argument. By default, it is there, and the username will be also be there in the environment where your code will be executed, and the host and port, everything will be there. Instead of providing here, so after pasting this code from the question, what you can do is can simply write database equal to database, because that's the variable I have been assigned to the database name. Similarly, user equal to user. So those things you can do. So, but I will take Fliss here since I am executing in my local system. Okay, fine. So I don't need this because I'm executing in my local system. But if you are doing in Seek portal, you need to paste this code. And you need to modify this database equal to database, user equal to user, and this password equal to password. Other than that, it's all simple. Okay.
Sir, you just mentioned something, but that is not there in the question, in the practice
This
assignment.
one,
Yes, sir, it's not mentioned at all.
I think it should be there. Okay, we'll check.
Even I can't see, sir.
Okay, we'll check and we'll inform the team. But okay. Okay, take a note of this or take a screenshot. Maybe. I'll ask them to update it. This one should be there. Okay. I'll just comment it since I use my local system. Okay, the question is to print the prime jersey numbers. Sorry, print the name and the team name who's having a prime jersey name. And the name should be listed in reverse alphabetical order of the players. And if two or more players have the same name, then you sort the so sorting should be done on the team name. Okay. So we have to write a query for that first of all, right?
Sir, if you don't mind, can you do on the portal of IITM the
Uh,
discussion?
Sorry, I won't be able to do now, like because I don't have the portal access in this course ID. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe you guys, some of you or anyone can share the screen once I complete this. I can guide you how to do this in portal. It's
Yes, sir.
almost same. Like just this code needs to be pasted. Remaining it's also okay. So we'll do a query for this. First, what we need to take is select, and we need to get we need a player name. So initially I'll do select all from what are the tables we needed. We need to print a player's name and team's name. Player name is located in players, right? So I'll take teams as T and players as P.
Sir,
And
sorry
yeah,
to interrupt you in between, but on the portal, the ER diagram is not given, and the part you have commented is also not given. So how we are supposed to know how schema is?
Sir, in the practice assignment 3, it's given. In 1 and 2, it's not
uh,
given. But in 3,
okay.
just
I
check.
think it's missed to update. I'll check with the team and I'll ask them to update. But in the exam, it will be there. This part will be there, and also ER diagram is also be there. Okay, don't. We'll
Okay.
take uh, teams as T and players as T. Then I'll do a join. Right, I don't need a cross join, so I'll filter using T dot team ID. Sorry, and T dot team ID. Okay, and what I need is team name, players name. So I can take T dot team name, and I can take T dot player name. I think it's just a name, not team underscore name. Uh, yes, just a name, not a team underscore name. That's why even I am forgetting this one. Okay. And also we need to do a sorting, right?
Yes, order by.
And we can use order by for that. First we need
Yes.
to sort based on the first we need to
Name.
sort on the player name
Yes.
in a descending order. So we'll put
And
T dot name descending, and we need to sort. Then if both players name are same, what we need to do, we need to sort based on the team's name.
name.
So we'll put T dot name, and that is also in descending. And one thing what we forget is we need to print only the team name and player name of the
Even prime, sorry.
not even
Prime.
those who are having a jersey number which is prime. So we need to take a prime jersey number also, right? Since it's very difficult to write a function for the prime number, we'll write a function for the prime number using the Python. And once we get the result, we'll iterate through it. We'll check what is prime number. So based on it, we'll print. So I'll take a prime number also. Jersey number. T dot jersey number. Okay. So I need to fetch all, right? And don't need to fetch only one row or specific number of rows,
Sir,
right?
you define the function prime number above or not?
Yeah, we need to.
Okay.
So as of now, what we'll do, I'll just print and see how this has been fetched. So Python, I'll put EA1 dot. So you are able to see it's a list of tuples and which has Amigo's name and the jersey number. Basically, you are getting team name, name and the jersey.
Jersey number.
But we don't need to print all this. We need to print the player's name and team name who is having a prime number of, sorry, who is having a jersey number, which is. So what we'll do, I'll just comment this as of now. So I'll iterate this. For row in result, first is team name, right? So I'll take a, if I know this one. So first is team name, that will be row of 0. And second is player. I'll just take P of name, P of name, and P of name. Then next is jersey number. Jersey number. That is row of. So I can print like this also, right? So first I need to print player name, then I can print team name. And I don't need to print jersey name, right? But now I need to do a filtering. If the jersey number is prime, then only I should print this. Otherwise, I don't need to print this. Since I have already sorted, I just need to check whether the jersey number is prime, right? So
Yes.
what can we do now?
We have to check first whether the jersey number is prime or not.
So I can write a separate function so that it will be helpful, right? Instead of writing
sir.
there, I can write a separate function def
Is prime.
is prime, and I'll just pass a number. So finally it should return true or false, right? So I think it's very easy as we have studied in Python. So if the number is less than 2, we can directly return false. Else what we need to do is we need to iterate for I in range 3 to, sorry, 2 to, because you need to consider 2 also. 2 to n. N is not included because we won't consider 1 and the whatever the number by default it is. So here if any number is dividing this n in between this range, then it is not a prime number. So you can say if n modulus I is equal to 0, because that means the number got divided, then it is not a prime number. So we can return false, right? So my prime number function got implemented. So now what I will do, I will simply use that prime number function. If is prime of jersey number, so this will return true or false.
If
So
true,
if
then
this
we
is
can.
yeah, if this returns true, I'll print my player name and team name. Else I won't do anything. So I don't need to write else block for that. Else what you can do, just write continue also. It doesn't matter. We'll just ignore this. And also the specific formatting will be given. So for that you can use F formatting, or you can just use this plus and use string codes, everything. Okay. So now let's execute this query. Now you can see it has been neatly printed in a descending order. Okay, let me comment this also. It's printing database. Now it's printing in a neat manner as we expected. So, and it prints in descending order. See, it's printing all the names in a descending order. And if any two of the names is same, then it will check for the inputs. Okay. And this is how the question will be also. Any doubts here?
No, sir.
Okay. Then what else? I think remaining question you guys can practice so that it will be helpful for you guys to practice for the OPP as well. But this is the standard practice, right? You need to execute the query and you need to fetch everything and you need to iterate and you need to check for the condition, whatever the question is asking. It could be prime number, they could be asking to modify some data, whatever. You just iterate it, get whatever the values you want, and you need to check for the condition and finally you need to print it in the format they are asking. So you can use this plus or formatted. Okay.
Yes.
So if you guys have any doubts, you can post it in Discourse and tag me. And also there is one more session on Saturday for week 7. There also you can. And I think it's been over rest week 5 and 6, right?
Yes.
And that is also very important topics. I'll stop sharing my screen. And if you guys don't have any doubts, I'll stop the streaming also. And
Sir,
maybe if you guys, yeah.
could you explain the boilerplate code a little bit again once, if that's possible?
Boilerplate code. We'll take the select.py. So first what I'm doing, I'm importing the library, right?
Sir, we have to, just to confirm, we have to have Postgres installed in our system to do this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In local system, you need to ensure whether Postgres has been installed or not. But in portal, there is a Postgres database already present there. Just you need to use these configurations.
Got it.
These configurations. So first you need to import this library, and you can, by default, you can initialize to none connection variable, even if without that also fine. So just initialize the connection, and you connect to the database using this psychopg.toConnect and store it in the connection variable.
Sir,
And you
connection.
create a cursor.
Sir, what is this connection variable? I didn't understand that part as well.
This connection variable is the thing it is getting a connection for your database. If I say this here, this connection will have all the access to your test database. So you can query, update, modify, whatever you want. But also that also depends on the user, as which user you are logging in. Here I'm logging in as a Postgres, which is a super admin user. So it has all this access. If you are logging in as other users which has a limited access, you won't be able to do all the operations. So that's the connection variable it's storing it.
So
yeah,
it's kind of like the whole database is stored in the variable connection. It's the whole database becomes an object of connect.
It's not just variable as a string or something. It's object where the connection has been established and it stores some addresses to establish the connection.
Got it, sir. And sir, that cursor part, what is a cursor?
So once you establish a connection, you need some cursor to execute the query. By default, how we used to execute the query is we use pgadmin, right? The visual editor.
Yes, sir.
So we need something to execute the query. You can't directly query something. By just establishing the connection, you won't be able to query. That's the case in all the databases. So we need a cursor to execute the. Even if you try using the command line, there is something called PSQL. Using that only you will be able to execute your query, right? I think you might have seen the two code.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. So using this to cursor is used to execute the
SQL
all.
queries.
Got it, sir.
Then you write cursor.execute, then you write your queries and you fetch whatever the results this cursor is giving. So basically that's what your pgadmin also does, right? When you execute this, it stores something in a neat and tabular form, but we are fetching it using cursor.fetch, whatever the results it's giving.
Sir, just to confirm, CONN connection, it can be any variable, and CUR can be any
Yeah. It can be any variable.
variable.
For short form, I just put like this. You use connection in a full form also.
Okay,
But cursor also can put cursor. No issues.
Okay, sir. Sir, regarding solving OPP questions and practice questions, this is the theory that you taught today. Is it going to be enough to solve all the questions?
Is it enough? But as I said, this is the way you need to solve. The problem where it comes is you need to once fetch the right result from your SQL query. The SQL query is based on the week 2 and 3. It's whatever we studied. Okay.
Right.
And the formatting also I shown you, right? Sometimes the format will be passed as a variable. Sorry, the values will be passed as an argument. So you need to format using percentages.
Sir,
That is one case.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. Percentages, if it's a string or integer or any kind of data type, we'll always use percentages, or because in
No,
C,
here we always use percentages.
always use percentages. Got it, sir.
So once you execute this, you get and store it in result, but you need to execute the right query. They are according to the question. Once you execute and got the result, and you need to modify the result based on the question. The question has some logic to perform whatever the output you got. So once you perform that logic, like here we did the prime number logic. So similarly, there will be easy logics. It won't be that difficult. So it will be easy like Python only. Even that it won't be difficult like Python OPP or 2. It's very simpler to the Python only. So once you've done that logic, you need to print the result. That is how the question would be in all the practice assignment and OPP. But you need to close the cursor, and this is the template. That's it. So basically, what you are doing is you are combining your week 2 and week 3 SQL codes in cursor.execute, and you are iterating it, and you are going to perform some basic logics using your Python.
Got it.
And this is remaining all this or boiler template code which you need to remember to connect to your database and execute it.
Got it, sir.
Okay. Any doubts before closing?
Sir, we'll take a screenshot. Could you show just for a second, sir?
Yeah. Now it's visible, I guess. You can take this one.
Could you
this one?
Got it, sir.
Oh. Okay. Shall I stop streaming then? You guys don't have any doubt?
Sir?
Yeah,
this database name when I had set up the pgadmin, I had saved in capital cases. So even in VS Code I had to use capital. So in the portal we all I just have to write in the small cases, right? In the which
No, in Portal you need to use this. Whatever I commented here, you need to use this because it's stored in the environment. You need to manually write this or this, whatever. So all this will be stored in the environment. You need to use that variable.
so
So
RPK.
you assign whatever the environment stores, you assign to a variable and you just use it. Like database equal to database, user equal to user.
That's different from our own PG.
Mm.
So in OPP there will be two Python DB questions. So both will be similar or like very different from each other.
It will be similar. Only the logic will be different. One will be medium, one will be little bit uh, slightly higher than the medium level.
Okay. So just to confirm, you like to ask to tag you on this. So your name is Nalini, right?
Sorry?
So your name is Nalini.
No.
So how?
My name is Praveen.
Praveen. Okay.
Okay. Okay, then
Thank you,
thank you
sir.
for joining. If you guys have any doubts, and stay back and you can clear your doubts and we can
Thank you, sir.
have a discussion also.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so
Anyone
much.
tried in PG and